from coast to coast. It's your boy, and welcome to another episode, video, live stream of Just My Opinion podcast. This breaking news, this just came down the news wire. Sources said, and you can check the whole article on ESPN.com, as well as NBA radio on Sirius XM has been discussing this as well. But sources say that Frank Vogel is going to be told that he's no longer the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Let me repeat that again. The front office is basically going to tell Frank Vogel he's no longer the coach of the LA Lakers. Now, to give you guys a backstory, Frank Vogel was named the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers many moons ago. And as soon as he got the job, he was already facing several roadblocks, okay? Dealing with LeBron James, dealing with everything that's evolved around LeBron James, also dealing with the Buss family, who was going to run the Los Angeles Lakers, the brothers or Jeannie Buss. He also had to deal with the front office now not allowing him to hire his own coaching staff. They pretty much selected his own coaching staff. So he was already facing huge roadblocks and barriers before even getting the job, okay? So Frank Vogel, if you look at his track record with the Los Angeles Lakers, I felt like he did a pretty good, decent job, despite what I just mentioned a while ago with all these hurdles and roadblocks he had to overcome. But he did get the Los Angeles Lakers a championship. But like I always tell you guys, when you talk about the historical franchises such as the Los Angeles Lakers, the Boston Celtics, the Dallas Cowboys, the New England Patriots, you want to throw them in there as well, the New York Yankees, these franchises are not satisfied with just winning one title. These franchises want to win multiple titles, okay? And they want to have, these franchises want to, they want to have a destiny, okay? A longevity of winning. And even though, and I always tell you guys this, I feel like all championships are created equal. I don't believe in one championship is different from another championship. Yes, I know a lot of people do not want to put respect on the bubble championship, but it is a championship, and the Los Angeles Lakers should be awarded of them winning a championship. Even though a lot of people, a lot of fans out there don't respect the bubble championship and don't put a lot of credibility in the bubble championship, particularly what transpired in that bubble format. You had a lot of players being very successful in that bubble climate. And if you look at them after the bubble championship and after the bubble climate, a lot of those teams, a lot of those players are struggling. The struggle is real. And the Los Angeles Lakers is one of those teams. Ever since they won that championship, they just can't get out of their way. This is their second year struggling. Last year, they made it into the playoffs, but at a lower seed, and they lost to the Phoenix Suns. And truth be told, the Phoenix Suns were a better team than the Los Angeles Lakers. So the Los Angeles Lakers went into the offseason trying to upgrade that roster. And it's very difficult and hard to accomplish that feat when you done traded away all your young talent, all your young assets. You trade away the majority of your picks. And there was a lot of speculation of them getting DeMar DeRozan. Apparently, if you listen to the reports, the front office didn't want to give DeMar DeRozan an extra year on his deal. If you listen to other reports, LeBron James was not satisfied with that deal, including the Buddy Hield deal, and he preferred the Los Angeles Lakers front office to go into a completely different direction, which is trading for Russell Westbrook, and we know how that turned out. And the Los Angeles Lakers struggled during this whole season, and they couldn't even make it into the playoffs, and they couldn't even make it into the play-in tournament. That's how bad the Los Angeles Lakers are. You know, a lot of, you know, if you look at the Vegas odds, if you look at all if you look at all the insiders, they selected the Los Angeles Lakers to be representing in the West and go and making it into the finals before the season even started. And now the Los Angeles Lakers couldn't even get into the play-in tournament. The San Antonio Spurs beat the Los Angeles Lakers to involve themselves into the play-in tournament. The New Orleans Pelicans, and if you look at what's remaining on that roster, there's a lot of guys on that roster that the Lakers already had on their roster, and they made it to the play-in tournament. All right, so that's a lot of egg on your face, and it's kind of sad, particularly with the New Orleans Pelicans. They don't even have Zion Williams, and they're going into the playoffs. If you look at everybody out west, everybody is getting better. Okay, making the right decisions, making the right moves. So if you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, this was a disaster, a nightmare of a season, and we all knew heads were going to roll. And Frank Vogel was going to be I told you guys in my live stream, Frank Vogel is not going to make it in the offseason. They're going to fire him with the quickness. I don't think it's all Frank Vogel's fault, but I just felt like the Los Angeles Lakers front office, as well as the players of the Los Angeles Lakers, put a lot of roadblocks in front of Frank Vogel that was in his way. Frank Vogel is a defensive-minded coach. A lot of their selections just this year alone, those are not Frank Vogel guys. They're, box office guys. They're flashy name type of guys. They're LeBron guys. They're Rob Pelinka guys. But they're not Frank Vogel guys. Frank Vogel is a defensive-minded coach. You mean to tell me with DeRozan and damn, I forgot his name real quick. You mean to tell me with DeRozan and Buddy Hield, you mean to tell me with those two picks, those two selections, the Los Angeles Lakers defense could not have been better than what it is right now, currently constructed right now? You don't think with those additions, the Los Angeles Lakers would have made it into the playoffs? So, moving forward, what's next for the Los Angeles Lakers? Who's going to be the next successor as far as head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers? And I told you guys, now I feel like these guys are on the outside looking in. And the two names I'm about to mention, people are going to think of and like I say, these are outside names looking in. And the first name I want to say is Mike Krzyzewski, the Duke head coach, who retired from the University of Duke. He's no longer the University of Duke head basketball, but he has a great relationship with LeBron James. And a lot of professional basketball players, and I think I butchered Mike's last name. I apologize. But I feel like he's well respected in the professional ranks of the National Basketball Association. I think LeBron James will respect that. He will honor that. And a name like that will get him to sign an extension with the Los Angeles Lakers because he's got 1 year remaining on that contract. Another name, like I said, these are names on the outside looking in, is Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard used to play and coach for the Miami Heat. And he has a great relationship, again, with LeBron James. You could consider him a LeBron guy. He understands LeBron James, and he too is well respected in the professional rankings. So that's a possibility as well. Now, as far as, the National Basketball Association, I feel like there are names out there that I could mention, but I feel like, if anything, we're creatures of habit when you talk about human beings. And if you're talking about Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, and if you look at what they've done with Frank Vogel, all the mechanisms that they put in place for Frank Vogel, one would assume that they'll probably get someone who's been an assistant coach in the NBA, who knows the ins and outs. And I'm not gonna say that person's gonna be a yes man, but that someone that's new, they're going to have a coaching staff already in place for this individual, and they're going to select them. Someone young that's trying to make it into head coaching, that has never been head coach before in the NBA. That's a possibility. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't see established veteran coaches either leaving the organization that they have or leaving the situations that they have, which there might be announcers or there may be NBA analysts that would join the Los Angeles Lakers to become the next head coach, because you don't know what that roster is going to look like when preseason starts. As of right now, you got an AD who has been injured majority of his career. You have a LeBron James that's not committing to the Los Angeles Lakers, who's only going to play for that 1 year. That's going to, a lot of veteran coaches would run away from that, because you're basically renting LeBron James for one basketball calendar season. And chances are he's probably not going to sign an extension with the Los Angeles Lakers, particularly if you've been paying attention to what LeBron James has been saying on social media as well as the shop. He really has other aspirations, other individual aspirations and achievements. He wants to get the Akeem record. I think if you look at the Lakers front office, they're okay with him wanting to do that, but they also want to win, But if all we're doing is just setting LeBron James up to get the scoring title from Kareem, then what's the purpose of having LeBron James with the Los Angeles Lakers? Because obviously, this is going to be a redemption season for the Los Angeles Lakers. They have to make it into the playoffs. They have to be a threat for the postseason, and they have to at least be the representative coming from the West. Because if they don't, heads are going to roll again next season with the possibility of Rob Pelinka being gone, as well as Jeannie Buss, her bus is going to be on the hot seat. All right. And now she's going to have issues with her family going like, okay, well, maybe this is a little bit too much for you. And maybe we should put the brothers back in. So it is very crucial for the Los Angeles Lakers to at least make it into the postseason. So they don't have much wiggle room, and they have to be contending for a playoff spot. And hopefully, let's see how it plays out and rolls out as far as them making it to the NBA Finals. You know, anything is possible. All right. So this is make it or break it season for the Los Angeles Lakers. So they're not going to have any wiggle room to deal with just only satisfying LeBron James, because they're not in that space nor that mindset. So yeah, that's all I got. I feel like anyone, a casual basketball fan, would have already known that LeBron James is leaving. Well, excuse me. Frank Vogel was going to be the first head to roll. And as far as the next successor for the Los Angeles Lakers, as far as a head coach, I don't think you're going to get coaches such as, you know, Tom Thibodeau or Greg Popovich or Eric Spoelstra, or, you know, you're not going to pull anybody, Jason Kidd, out of their situation to coach a situation with the Los Angeles Lakers when you don't even know what type of roster you're going to have. Yes, you know you got LeBron James 1 year remaining, but you don't know if Anthony Davis is going to get serious in the offseason and health is wealth type of progress, so he can at least play, you know, a little bit more games than what he played last year or the year before. So you got that running around. Then you got the Russell Westbrook. A lot of people say that the Russell Westbrook, and I wouldn't say I was the first, but when people were talking about Russell Westbrook had an easy contract to, is an easy tradable contract that people are you're going to have a line out the door of teams wanting to take that contract on last trade deadline. And I was telling people, I don't know what everybody is on, but you know, that contract had a year and a half remaining. And I said on my live stream, now as far as the Lakers getting rid of that contract in the offseason are better chances. But what are you going to get in return, and what else you have to sweeten the pot? Now, there have been talks that the Charlotte Hornets are interested in Russell Westbrook. And all you need is just one team to bid with the other teams. You know, I feel like they're going to get up off of the Russell Westbrook contract, and they're going to get pieces, but we don't know what those pieces are going to be. Or they're going to get real assets that's going to make that roster better, and maybe get a commitment from LeBron James. Okay. I don't think it's going to be that, but they're going to get other assets. And if you've been watching the Los Angeles Lakers the past two games, they've been playing pretty well without Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Those guys have sat down, and you saw a flurry of other players, you know, doing, you starting to see the potential with some of those players. And one would assume, well, if they had that type of talent, how come LeBron or the Los Angeles Lakers coaching staff or even Frank Vogel didn't utilize these other options. So the narrative that Shannon Sharp is spinning out there, well, LeBron James didn't have anyone to make an assist for, is completely laughable, because when LeBron James is out of the lineup, these other guys are flourishing. Okay, so as far as the coach go, I feel like they're going to. I feel like personally, they're going to get a young up and coming assistant from the NBA from an NBA team in the in the coaching, like in the coaching staff, that's going to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. I also feel like this is the outside looking in, Juwan Howard or Mike Concessi. I still keep butchering that guy's name. That's a possibility. But I think more than likely they're going to get someone who wants to take the challenge and doesn't mind that it's an unknown future as far as getting LeBron committed into an extension. I don't think you're going to get Greg Popovich or someone that's seasoned that wants to take that job, because you don't know what that job is going to be consistent of. So yeah, breaking news just came down the news wire. Um, the Los Angeles Lakers front office is are going to be in talks with Frank Vogel, and they are going to tell Frank Vogel, you don't gotta leave, but you gotta get the hell on up out of here. He's gonna be shown the door. They're going to give him a pink slip. He's going to be fired, and as a professional as Frank Vogel is, he's good with that. So that's all I got for today. I will talk to you guys later. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. Deuces, man. Deuces. Man, I forgot how to get out of this. What's the hell going on? Oh, here we go. Wow, Chris. Wow.